Is it worthwhile you renting out furniture in your buy-to-let? Check out this video as I go through some of those details. Tom's asked a question. Please explain the pros and cons of leasing. And this is where I'll talk about now, Teresa. So Tom has asked, please explain the pros and cons of leasing furniture and electrical goods for HMOs and SAs, service accommodation. And just my personal experience on this, we've got plenty of clients, some that are cash strapped, some of them that are doing well with their money, and they'll buy the furniture outright. I've recommended that people speak to companies like Fusion Furniture before, Forbes Rentals. I'll put some links in actually, just so you can have a look at this for yourself. I can't really vouch. I've used Forbes Rentals for myself, funny enough. It was something that I'm sure we've all had grandmas that have rented out their TVs at some time in the past. I know my grandma did. So we've used them. But I'll be interested to see what other people think. So Bronwyn, why don't you make a start? And if any other panel member wants to chip in, maybe Paul Hilliard on this one, because you're so close to connect. So Bronwyn, why don't you first start?
Yeah, thank you. So when you're starting out in property, if you're looking to build a portfolio fairly quickly, as indeed my husband and I did, you run out of cash very quickly, and cash flow is really important. So what we were doing as we were building up our portfolio of HMOs, houses of multiple occupations, and multi-lets, because they're all furnished, and you're also providing obviously fridge, freezers, washing machines, televisions, the works. It's very expensive, and although we use companies like we do use Let Us Furnish, Fusion, people that can come in and basically furnish it for you. If there's a leasing option, it's obviously better for your cash flow. Now, for electricals, I've used a company called Forbes, Forbes, Forbes. And what I found was really useful for them is that for the electrical appliances, not only could I rent them or lease them second-hand, really good refurbished ones, which made it cheaper, but also if something went wrong with them, they had a service level agreement where they would come out next day and fix it. Now that's worth a huge amount as an investor, because any issues, especially in an HMO, you need someone to come out quickly. So I found that using Forbes and leasing saved me a lot of money, but also later on when I had the cash flow, I could buy them off them. So they would just do the calculation and say, if you pay me X, they're yours. So it was for cash flow, really. Those are big pros for me. I'm sure others have got views.
And Bronwyn, just to let you know, I've put in the links to those websites that you mentioned. So that's already on the chat box, guys. So have a look at those. Paul, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I wholly recommend, if you're interested in doing this, speaking to James Quinn at Fusion Furniture. He's obviously the LMPG link person associated with us. But yeah, speak to James. I think there's a couple of cons. I mean, Bronwyn's mentioned all the positives there: save cash flow, very good for tax relief. But the cons, I think, are, and someone might be able to correct this, does it not have to be done in a limited company?
No, you don't have to.
No.
All right. Okay. And the only other thing was that you don't actually own it until the balloon payment's made at the end. But other than that, yeah, brilliant for cash flow purposes. And as you say, there's on the electrical goods and the furniture, brilliant. Recommend Fusion and speak to Currys, because they'll do a long-term plan to finance it. So over to you guys.
Perfect. Thank you ever so much for that. So next question then. So Dinesh has asked the question. I've been approached by a build to rent. Sorry, Teresa, you put your hand up, so I do apologise. Teresa, do you want to chip in there?
God, I was feeling left out there. I thought I don't want to interrupt because it'll might look unprofessional. But yeah, I was just saying that I do rent out my electricals, and it was the best thing I ever did, because being in a HMO, you've got lots of people using appliances, and then soon enough, a couple of years seems to go by quite quick, and before you know it, things start going wrong with the appliances. So I just love that I can just ring somebody up, and most of the time they don't even bother to repair it, they just wheel a new one in. So I highly rate it, and I use a company called Hughes.
How do you spell
Hughes, Hughes. I know it's my accent. It's Hughes Trade. So I use them, and I'm not bothered that I'll never own it, because it just always gets offset against my my rental.
Please note that we have a couple of events that we think you should register. The first one is the Property Expert Panel, and on that panel member list we have a mortgage broker, a property mentor, a tax advisor, which you would have guessed it is us, the NRLA, LMPG and a surveyor. So make sure that you ask your property investment and your property development questions to our panel members on the first Monday of every month. The link will be appearing below this video. Make sure you also list for the Property and Business Tax live Q&A with Louise Mishevich and Simon Mishevich, the co-owners of Optimize Accountants. You can ask them any question you would like live on our stream, and that is on the third Monday of every month. Again, the link will be appearing below this video.